Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here.
And you are watching Captain Algebra.
Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here. A couple weeks ago, I was at MoGameCon in St. Charles, Missouri, and I'm here to tell you all about my experience and the pickups I got. So first things first, drove down Friday night to meet up with Do You Nerd, BK, Gaming Off the Grid, Dan Brosman at Two Plumbers Brewery and Barcade, and very cool place, some very good beer, and some obviously some fun arcade games. So we played House of the Dead, first time I'd ever played that, so that was fun. We kind of took turns. When someone died, someone would jump in. That was really cool. It was really cool to see Tom and Lacey beat it for the first time. That was awesome. But then the highlight for me was I finally played Alien vs. Predator for the first time. It was me, BK, and Wes from Gaming Off the Grid, and we destroyed that game. There are some screwy parts here and there. There's some parts where you get kind of screwed over and stuff, but oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So really cool to beat that.
With Wes and BK, what's up?
And are your scores?
And our scores. Oh shit.
First.
Oh well.
Oh, you guys are on time. Agent G.
Then we went back to the hotel, traded or gave some stuff. We were exchanging some beer, got some gifts that I'll talk about in a little bit, and then played some Smash, and that was a lot of fun. I kicked ass like usual. No, I'm just kidding, but it was really fun. Actually, Tom beat me, and he's the only person who's ever beat me legitimately. He beat me online once, and I think he beat me once at MoGameCon. So he's a pretty good challenger. And then Wes got me, but I blame it mostly on the stage. I'm pretty sure I killed myself all 3 times, and I'm pretty sure if you ask Tom, he'll agree with me. So he'll back me up on that. So really cool time. Then about 2 a.m. we went to bed. Got up the next morning. Got ready, went and tailgated, so that was fun. We had the TV in the back of the van with some multi-cards, playing some Super C, some Contra, some Super Smash TV, drinking some beers, talking to people that came up. Really cool. Then it was con time, and it was so much fun. Now, this was probably the smallest con that I've been to, with Too Many Games being the largest, Midwest Gaming Classic being a little smaller than that. And so it's kind of nice. You could get through pretty easily, so I probably did 10 laps around the whole thing. But, you know, at first I was looking for those games on my list. Then, you know, another time through I would spend more time at booths looking at everything. We did a little challenge that Gaming Off the Grid's gonna talk about. And so I was looking for stuff like that. But it was a really cool time. Bought a few things here and there.
He doesn't even know what time it is.
No, now see that guy in the hat right there? The white Atari shirt under that blazer? Huge boner dog. Yep. Right there.
Look at that boner dog, right? Nice.
There's the MoGameCon floor. Definitely much smaller than Too Many Games and Midwest Gaming Classic.
But then at noon, Do You Nerd had their panel, and I was not going to miss this. Now, yes, Pat Bandy, yes, Punk had a panel at the same time, but, you know, Pat's just a guy. I met him, I like him, but Do You Nerd, they're some of my best friends on YouTube now. And so I wasn't going to miss that. You know, friends always come first. So really cool panel. They posted the video, so check it out if you haven't. Just really good message, you know, and they're good people. So that was really cool to check that out. And then it was back to hunting games. And what I really liked about MoGameCon is how easy it was to find people. You know, at Too Many Games, I could go hours without seeing anybody from our group. And we had a lot of people. At MoGameCon, I was constantly running into people, and that was really cool. And then, unfortunately, the con was over. I had to go back to the hotel, pack my stuff up, and head back home. But, oh my gosh, it was such a good time. So cool to finally meet Do You Nerd. And what's really cool is when you talk to people for so long, when you meet them for the first time, nothing seems weird, you know? It just seems like you've known each other for a long time, so that was really cool. Obviously, spending time with Robert and Wes again was really cool. We just met for the first time at Midwest Gaming Classic in April, and now it's just like we're already really good friends. We talk every day on Marco Polo. That's really cool. And of course, seeing BK again, meeting Dan Brosman, and meeting Brian Newland, who's part of the Gaming Off the Grid channel. He's been on it a couple times, so really cool. Had a lot of fun, and definitely hope to make this trip every year. It's only, you know, about 5 hours away. Now, onto the pickups. First thing, got a couple dust sleeves. The first one was from Video Games Dust Sleeves. the MoGameCon one with places to sign on the back, which I'm terrible at doing. So I did get Gaming Off the Grid, Tom and Lacey, and Retro Tony, which is really cool to meet him. And then Do You Nerd had a new dust sleeve with their little logo kind of in the background. So that was pretty cool. Can't wait to put that up on the shelf. I got one thing that's not a game, but is video game related, and that was a Donkey Kong 64 guide. Now I don't need it. I've played this game so many times. I like collecting strategy guides, and this was the one from Nintendo Power, so it's pretty cool. So I bundled with some other things, and that you'll see in a little bit, but really glad to pick that up. And now we're going to start with the stuff that I was given. So first, Do You Nerd? So we're there, handing out beer to each other, and just having a good time, and here Tom pulls out a game for me. Check it out.
And this one's actually from my personal collection, but I feel like it's going to get a little more use elsewhere.
Maximo Army of Sin?
Oh man. Thank you.
I know that you've been
Captain,
having,
wasn't that on your list?
It was number one. Oh man.
and you've been having so much fun streaming the original, so I can't wait to see
Thank
that.
you so much. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, your personal collection too. Wow. Man, is it allergies?
What? Jesus Christ, Ryan.
No, that's awesome. Thank you.
You guys are welcome.
That's right. Maximo vs. Army of Zin, the #1 game on my list. And Tom took it from his personal collection to give to me. That was so cool. So this game is a sequel to Maximo Goes to Glory that I've been playing on the channel lately, and it is excellent. It's just as good as the first one, and actually better. They improved a lot of things. You can save at any time. The mechanics seem to be a little bit better. There's a kind of like a level select map, similar to like Super Mario Brothers, where you just go to the next level. You always go back to levels. There's still the mastery of the levels where you find all the secrets, where you save enough people and that kind of stuff. So very cool. Definitely can't wait to finish Ghosts of Glory so I can pop this game and finish that. Then, not to be outdone, right after that, Wes from Gaming Off the Grid is like, hold on, Captain, we got something for you too. I was like, oh my god, are you serious? So let's check out what they got me.
One
Here's
quick,
Do You Nerd.
quick other thing that I want to grab quick now that you guys are done. From my personal collection,
He's pulling it out of his butt. It's been sitting there for
Makes it worth more money.
custom case.
Gremlins 2. Was that also on your list, Captain?
It was.
You were
No,
telling me
that's 2 out of 5.
He
2
was
out of
just
5.
telling me
And
that
the
that's
Dude,
con-
guys. Oh my god. Thank you.
Those are pretty good odds.
Wow.
Man, these allergies.
You're gonna get
Thank
some
you.
medicine.
Thank you guys. I need some medicine.
Let's get some medicine.
Yeah. Another one on my list. Gremlins 2. So excited to get this. This is a really fun action-adventure game. I put it in to test it out, and it was so much fun. It was one of those games I really did not want to put down. I heard it's kind of tough, but, I'm sure I can get through it. If back in the day Gamer can beat it, I can beat it. But it's a really fun game. I'm definitely looking forward to get into it a little more, and I really appreciate Wes and Robert, giving this to me. They didn't have to do that, and it was really cool, So there you go. Out of the 5 things I was looking for, there's 2 right there that were knocked out of the park. So thank you guys. Do You Nerd, Gaming Off the Grid. I really appreciate it. And the next one on the list was actually just an upgrade. I already had it, but I needed the manual and the case, and it is Star Wars Rebel Strike Rogue Squadron 3. So I'm a big fan of the Rogue Squadron series. Obviously loved it since they started on the N64. And this is, just another similar game. You've got the different missions where you're flying around, but then certain missions also have you on foot. Now that part's not great. There's not really good camera controls. So sometimes you go around a corner and there's enemies there and, they get shots on you before you get to shoot them. The aiming's a little weird with that part, but still, it's a fun game. And definitely glad to get that complete into my collection. Then picked up a couple Super Nintendo games. First one, UN Squadron. So this is a game I've wanted for a while. We actually played it for the Retro Game Brews High Score Challenge a couple months ago. I did not participate in that challenge. Megadan lent me the game. I just didn't have enough time to play it, but it's a fun shooter. You get different pilots you can choose from that always have different stats. You can choose what mission you go to depending on where you are. And it's fun. It seems pretty difficult, but the more I play it, the more I'm getting better at it. And it's a cool game. I definitely recommend it for the collection. Now the back of the cart is a little discolored, so I'll just see if I got another cart that I can just switch out with it and make it look nice and pretty. Next one is actually one off my list, War of the Gems. So back in the day, gamers said this game wasn't that good, and I disagree. This is such a fun beat-up. Now, this is the type of game that I want from a Hulk game. You know, all the Hulk games you play aren't that good, but when you play Hulk in this game, you just feel super powerful, and that's really cool. Again, it's one of those games you can select your level, you can select what character you're going to be, and they all have different moves and stuff. And then obviously at the end of the stage, there's a boss battle that, you know, they've got their patterns and stuff, and it's a very fun beat 'em up. The label's a little messed up on the top, but I got it for a pretty good price, and it's basically, you know, I just gotta, you know, glue it down a little bit, and it'll look really nice. Then Tony's gonna be pretty happy. I picked up some NES games. First one, Mick Kids. So this is just a solid platform. I've always heard really good things about it, but I never saw it anywhere. So I picked this one up from Retro Tony, as well as another game you'll see here in a little bit. And yeah, it's a little weird. You got to go around collecting these arches, and you got to find these, I think, was it keys or cards, something, to be able to go further in the game. But there's secret areas, and it's not like a perfectly linear level. Sometimes there's other places to go to find things. But I've really liked so far. But this is weird. This is a very clean cart. The pin's very clean, but it took me forever to get to work in my NES. I'm not really sure why, and I'm using a top loader too, but it eventually worked, and it was a lot of fun. Next game on my list was Mickey Mouse Capade. This is a game that I've been looking for a while. You know, it's a cheap game, but it's a fun little action platformer where you play as Mickey and you're leading Minnie around. And Minnie's kind of annoying because she can sometimes get lost and stuff. She can't take any hits, which is nice, but still, she gets kind of annoying. You know, that's one of the worst part of video games are the escort missions. Now, usually in escort missions, the person you're escorting can get hurt. Luckily, Minnie can't. But it's fun. You go around shooting things to find secrets and extra lives, as well as power-ups and stuff. But it's a solid game and one I was looking for in my collection for a while, so I'm glad to pick it up. Next one is also from Retro Tony, and that's Tiny Toon Adventures 2. So this one's not as good as the first Tiny Toon Adventures. That one's a very, very good platformer. This one, you're at Wacky Land, and you can select each level, but you have to have a certain number of tickets to get into the level. And there is no checkpoints in those levels. So if you get, you know, middle of the level, almost through the level, and you die, you got to start all over. And the levels aren't super easy. So a little disappointed in this one. It's still fun. I'm glad to have it in collection, but it's just not as good as the original Tiny Toon Adventures on the NES. Next, we got a whole stack of Genesis games. First one, actually got from Video Game Dad's podcast. I'd never heard of them before, but Dan Brosen was talking about them, and they were giving really good deals. So we've got Beauty and the Beast, Roar of the Beast. I was not really expecting much from this game, but it's a solid action platformer. You play as the Beast, and you have to go through the castle and through the levels to try and regain your stolen valuables and you know, help your the people that live in the castle with you. It's only one player, no co-op, but it seems like a solid game. The levels kind of take some trial and error to figure out when enemies are coming and stuff, but I liked it so far. I, you know, definitely got it for a good price, and it's in really good condition. Next game is probably the game I was most disappointed in, but I've wanted it for a while, and that's Chicon the Forever Man. So the reason I was disappointed in this game is just the controls didn't seem that great. You can do a double jump where you spin, and it didn't seem to always work. You know, I'd have no problem doing it for a while, and then all of a sudden I would try it, and it wouldn't work. So I don't know if it was, can't be my controller, the controller's brand new. So yeah, that was a little disappointing. But other than that, it seems like a decent game. I obviously need to get more into it. But you can come up with different weapons as you go through the game, as well as you can use your alchemist powers with potions and stuff, so that'll help as you get further into the game. But it was at least cheap. But yeah, just a little disappointed in it. And then the second game I got from Video Game Dad's podcast, Bram Stoker's Dracula. So this game I wasn't really sure about, but I was trying to bundle things and buy some stuff from these guys since they were giving such good deals. And I thought this was a really bad game, but after playing it, it seems like a pretty decent game. You know, it's another platformer. You go around the level, You can get extra weapons like guns and swords and stakes. And then you gotta find someone to talk to and then find the exit after that. I've liked it so far, and obviously, you know, this letter comes way before F, which I'm currently at in my A to Z. So some of these I'm gonna have to go back and play to for Genesis. So that'll be fun to try to go through some of these games. Next game was a game that is terrible on Super Nintendo, but I always heard the Genesis game was very good. So when I saw it, I had to pick it up, and that's Captain America and the Avengers. And yeah, this game is so much better on the Genesis. It doesn't feel cheap. You just seem to have more control of the game. The enemies don't suck as much, and it's really fun. So you get to pick from Vision, Iron Man, Hawkeye, and Captain America, and they both fight pretty similarly, but you know, some of their moves are a little bit different. It's a little weird how your health is a number, so when you get hit, you lose a certain number of points. There's boss battles, there's flying levels, and it's a pretty fun game. Definitely glad to finally pick it up and get it on the Genesis. And last, the Genesis game that I picked up was on my list. I believe it was number 2, and that's Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. So another fun action-adventure game. You know, these Mickey Mouse games in the 16-bit era were so good. You know, you've got World of Illusion, you've got Mickey Mania, you've got the Mickey Mouse games on the Super Nintendo, and they were just really good back in the day on the 16-bit and 8-bit eras. So this one was one I was really glad to finally pick up. Yeah, I've had World of Illusion for years now, but I hadn't played it because I want to play Castle of Illusion first. And so now I can finally get through this game and then finally try World of Illusion. So that'd be pretty cool. And then the last game I picked up was a recommendation from Gaming Off the Grid. It's been one I was looking for, but prices are pretty high for it. It was from Limited Run, I believe. So yeah, I could have got it digitally, but I'm all about physical. And that is Nex Machina. Now, is it Nex Machina or Nex Machina? I've heard it both ways. Now, I'm assuming since Robert says Nex Machina, it's probably Nex Machina. I mean, we've heard some of the stuff Robert says. I mean, Rampage.
Come on, man!
So, no, this is a very fun twin-stick shooter. And oh my god, this is such a fun game. And it is very addicting. They streamed it and got through the game. So that was pretty cool to see. And it's kind of funny, when you're watching someone stream, you know, it's easy to be like, oh, why didn't they do that? Why didn't that move there? Why did they go there and get killed? But then when you're playing the game, you kind of get tunnel vision at times. Because there are a couple times where I was not in that bad of a spot, and then I ran into an enemy and died. It's like, come on, how did I not see that? But it's a really fun game, really fun co-op game. So I know Gaming Off the Grid is hoping that Megadan and I do this at some point. So maybe that's a possibility. We don't do many modern games, but that would be pretty cool. There you go. Those are my pickups from MoGameCon, and like I said, what a great time. So awesome meeting everybody. Finally meeting Do You Nerd, seeing BK again, meeting Dan Brosman and Brian Newland, seeing Gaming Off the Grid again. Just awesome people. Had so much fun, and it's so cool that MoGameCon is such a short trip for me. It's only about 5 hours, so that's definitely something I can do every single year, and so hopefully the wife lets me. But got some good games, had a good experience, saw a lot of cool people, and it was just a really good time. So I definitely suggest if you can get to MoGameCon next year, you definitely do. It's only a one-day con, but it's excellent. And, you know, if you meet up with a bunch of other people, it makes it even better, because that's what this whole experience is about. You know, the games are great, but it's the seeing the people and hanging out that make the most memories. And it's just an excellent time. So thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.